Hello, all you brandy bronchodilators. Um, so I thought it would be fun to do a video on what is broadly, I think, the most recognizable class of brandies out there, namely grape juice, grape must-based brandies that have been aged in oak. But to kind of go into the more obscure uh, outer reaches of that broad category. So I've got three kind of oddballs here. One I've bought and two samples, and I thought I would taste through them and review them. All right. So this Fass here is another one of the mass of Metté products I've bought recently. I will link up some other reviews down there. Metté, eau de vie distiller in Alsace. So they traditionally do mostly. I can't even say unaged stuff, unoaked stuff, stuff that is aged in stainless steel instead of oak. Eau de vie, that kind of thing. And the Fass series is a little side project they do of stuff focused on oak aging. So it's oak aged eau de vie. We'll come back to this particular entry in a moment, but it is a fin d'Alsace. What the hell that is, we'll get into it. Then there is Sample X, the 27-year-old French brandy, 1993, bottled in 2020. This is a Kintra Whisky Mercenary collaboration side project. More on this in a second. And then there's a return to Copper and Kings. This is their Capitol Strength Brandy. This is a single barrel pick for DC, whence Capitol Strength. I've done some Copper and King stuff in the past. Haven't enjoyed all of it, but it's always fun, always interesting. Hopefully, it will stay that way, despite the fact that they've been bought out by I think it's Gallo or Constellation. I can't remember. Anyways, hopefully they stay weird. All right, let's get into this. Get some tasting notes on the table. So we're gonna go up in ascending ABV, starting with the Voss, which is a mere 42% alcohol by volume, and going up to the Capitol Strength, which is a stonking 64% alcohol. All grape must based, all H and oak. So the Fass, fin d'Alsace, aged for 6 years. They're saying on the bottle French oak. I'm going to hold this up for you. Let's see. If you go to the website, they'll get a little more specific. They just say aged 8 years, but on the bottle it's 6. So we'll go with the bottle. On the website, they state this is actually Cognac oak, so ex-Cognac casks. 239 bottles. Of note is this is a 50 centiliter bottle, not a 70, so slightly smaller bottles. Let's see, probably bottled sometime in the last 3-4 years, not long ago. And what else to say about this? Oh yeah, it's Pinot Blanc based. Pinot Blanc, a very cool grape you find. I mean, all over France, really, but northern France at least, but especially in Alsace, it's kind of one of the workhorse varieties. And if you're looking for a fun lateral play, you're getting bored of Sauvignon Blancs and Pinot Gris, try Pinot Blancs. They're really good, kind of medium to high acidity, high mineral sorts of wines. But anyways, that's the grapes they've used to make this brandy. What you may be asking here is, okay, what the hell is the fin d'Alsace? What is that even? I know the Alsace part, right? That means it's from Alsace. And Metté is from Alsace, by the way. I might have mentioned that at some point. What the hell is the fin part? F-I-N-E. Okay, easy to explain. A fin is a broad category of French brandy, meaning basically brandy distilled from grape must, so grape juice. Basically. And you might be saying at this point, isn't that most brandy as we think about it? Wouldn't then like Armagnac and Cognac count as fins? Well, yes. I mean, there's some differences, right? So Fin, for most of the places it's made, and there's different regions. Fin de Bourgogne. I think there's some Fin de Jura. A lot of regions make this stuff, and most of them require that the wine be distilled on the lees. So all the little dead yeasty leftovers, those have to stay in order to make a fin by these legal requirements. That is not always the case legally. That's not the case in Armagnac and Cognac. Although de facto, you find a lot of producers doing that anyway. So like the big boys in Cognac. And I'm guessing Henny doesn't do a lot of distillation in the lees because it kind of adds a nutty character to the distillate. But de facto, a lot of folks do. Anyway, so yeah, roughly speaking, you can say that Cognac and Armagnac have the same relationship to the fin category broadly as like tequila has to mezcal, in the same way that no one actually thinks of it that way. It's just like, yeah, okay, maybe that technically might be true. All right, but let's get into this. Fin d'Alsace, Pinot Blanc based distillate, aged in Cognac casks. On the nose. Hold on, I'm sorry. There's been a mistake. I thought this was a brandy. In fact, there must have been some kind of mistake on the bottling line, because what I'm smelling is a young Rosebank. Possibly a Little Mill. I'm guessing Rosebank, though. We're talking 12 to 15-year-old fresh cask lowland whiskey. That's what this smells like. So maybe there was maybe someone popped open an old connoisseur's choice of Rosebank or something and accidentally got into this bottle somehow. Obviously, I'm making this up. This didn't actually happen, but man, this is a dead ringer for Rosebank, circa I don't know. Longer than 10 years ago, like 15, 20 years ago, those sort of young, independently bottled teen-aged Rosebanks. This is what they smelled like. So we're getting lemon curds, hot porridge, honey, clover honey, a certain nuttiness, it's hard to nail down, like a pistachio note, flowers, kind of grass, like mixed grass and flowers. Nothing in particular. It's only 42% alcohol by volume. Those 2% is helping, but it's still a little bit vague in terms of the character here. And then it smells a little bit more brandy-like. Golden raisins, lemon drops, some orange slices, the little orange candies. White pepper, a little white pepper, used tea bags, and some kind of a smoked lemon peel note. Or maybe like lemon smoke, smoked lemon smoke, one of those two, go, whatever. But man, this really, really, really smells like old school lowland Scotch malt. And I'm into it. All right, on the palate. On the palate, again, man, you could fool some Scotch drinkers with this. We're getting lots of Rosebank. Lemon candy, flowers, grass, cream of wheat, tea bags, ground pepper, orange slices, candy. Little smokiness, like burning grass. That kind of vague nutty note. Almost crushed pistachio, like pistachio eau de vie or something like that. And, well, kind of some Pinot Blanc notes, some, minerality, lemon, lime, that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's not complex, but what it is super yummy. I could drink this all night long. It actually kind of goes for the entire Metté range. They're just super, super sessionable spirits, super crushable. Despite the fact that there's an artistry and a tastefulness and they're just well made, and like you could pound the hell out of them at the same time, which is less a less common combination you would think. Let's add a hair bit of water to that and move on. Not a lot because it's only 42%, but we'll come back to it. Add like 3 drops. All right, moving on to grape must base brandy number 2. So sample X. This is a Kintra Whisky Mercenary joint. So so this is a brandy that was distilled in Cognac, according to the distillation rules in Cognac. So why is this not marked as a Cognac? Well, because it was aged and bottled in Scotland. So they can't legally call it that. Now, the flip side of that is they cannot charge you as much money as they could for a 27-year-old Cognac. This is like 60 euros. A full bottle of this is like 60 euros in Europe. So on paper, by far the most impressive brandy here. It is the Sample X's video to lose at this point. Let's see, distilled in Cognac, bottled in Scotland. 212 bottles, bottled a strength of 46.3%. So perhaps some wet cellars going on there. On the nose, yeah, I mean it smells very kind of aromatic cognac-y. It's not punching me in the face with a lot of oak, although there is some French oak there, but it's mostly just kind of floral, nice, fruity, desserty. So initially like fruit cake with a really nice latte on the side, like artisanal latte. They put a little heart on the top. That kind of latte. Actually, lots of fruit cake. Raisins, figs, dates. Then wildflower honey, and just straight up wildflowers. A little herbaceousness. Actually, you know what this smells like? It smells like they just like took a cognac and threw a shot of MGP bourbon into it, the high rye bourbon. So it's got that kind of like herbaceous meets desserty, semi-grainy kind of character to it. Little curacao, the actual fruit, not the liqueur. Chamomile, wax. Oh man, there's a fruity black tea, like a black tea, which is, they haven't added anything to it. It's just naturally very fruity, and I cannot think of the name of it, but let's just say fruity black tea. And a little bit of rancio note, not much. Like one old book. It's nice. It's very light, aromatic, clean. On the palate, puzzling. Let me try that one more time. That's weird. Was fine with it initially, and then kind of went in a weird direction. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. So initially, fine. It kind of relies on raisins and caramel, kind of that, the notes I kind of think of as, from the bois, the outside regions in Cognac. Yeah, kind of raisins, caramel, desserty stuff. But then it sort of transitioned into like burned grass, basil, menthol, like unstewed tea leaves. I know this sounds nice. Like these are notes I would usually say, but nice. In this case, it is not that nice. It is but not nice. Just lots of bitter herbs, and it's not really in balance. Ooh. Yeah, kind of a musty cellar. Where they haven't really cleaned up the mold from a couple of years back. Like Szechuan peppers, like maybe some Tobanjan in there, but not nice. Black Twizzlers. It's not bad. This is not actually bad. It's just kind of I don't get it. It just feels kind of weird and bitter and awkward. It doesn't feel like a completely coherent palate, which is weird because I was enjoying the nose. Let me give this one more shot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one, y'all. Okay, let's come back to that. Maybe it'll clean itself up with a little squirt of water. And finally, the American. Look at the color on this compared to the others. I just got a whiff of that. You can smell the America. USA. All right, Copper and Kings Capitol Strength Private Barrel for Washington, D.C. So, this could be sourced. This could be their own stuff. I have no idea. I have no idea how old this is. All I could find on this is that it had a 3-year finish in a Willett rye barrel. So it seems like a missed opportunity. They could have put like some purple wax on top of their bottles, sold it for like $300-400. They did not do that. They sold it for a mere $80, which still makes it the most expensive brandy in this tasting. Pot distilled, unchill filtered, no colorant, no nothing. 64% alcohol by volume. All right, let's see what we got on this. Copper and Kings. I mean, it's very bourbony. I feel like I'm nosing like peanut butter ice cream that you sort of sprinkled some raisins on top of. Not even like nice raisins. This is like the little, the ones in the red box you got for lunch in 3rd grade. Beyond that, I mean, it's very cask dominant. Put it that way. There's a lot of American oak on this. It's just cafe mocha, nutshells, but it's like sweet candy nutshells, almost like you drizzled some honey on them. Some figs, dried cherry, fennel, English breakfast tea. Actually, I had that the Belle Meade sherry finish a couple of videos ago. This actually tastes more like a sherry finish than that did. I'm getting a lot of dried fruit notes on this. A little roasted banana kind of mingling in with the English breakfast tea. Some ground pepper too. I mean, it really just smells like American heavily oaked distillate juice is what this smells like. Okay, we will give it a shot on the palate. Again, 64% alcohol, so I won't be adding water to this, but I will try it neat first. Okay, big, kind of dumb, very, very basic in terms of what it's doing, but it works. Kind of a very shallow finish. It's very much stopping short in my mouth. It doesn't even hold on that long. It's kind of a medium length, but it's fun. This is it's a laugh. Put it that way. And sometimes that's the joy with American spirits, is they're just a laugh. All right. Again, very dried fruity. Raisins. I want to say grapes, but it's more like grape candy. If that's got to be a thing, right? Like grape nerds. root beer, jalapenos. Oh wait, then like that distinctive kind of cherry note, which isn't really cherry, it's like oak cherry. That roasted banana thing again. Strong damn cup of coffee. Some absinthe in there. Some of the more like sweeter absinthe, the more desserty absinthe. Yeah, and the finish is just, the length is fine, but it just doesn't go very far back in my mouth. It's fun. The only problem with this is, again, it was like $80. At 60, this could be a contender. Like this might be good competition for the ECBPs out there. But at $80, I'm not convinced. All right, let's give this some water. 3, 4, 5. Even more. Okay, let's give it like 6.5 squirts. Still kind of hot, but I'm still I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't give it more water than that. All right. Okay, so going into the second round now with water, I would say the Capitol Strength here is kind of winning it for me. It is not a deep, profound spirit by any means, but it has a little bit more heft than these others. And yeah, let's go through, see what they got. Let's go back to the Metté, the Fass, fin d'Alsace. Again, I was having fun with this. Also not the deepest shed in the canary or whatever metaphor that is. Ooh. Hold on. So with water, okay, this no longer smells like rosebank. It's just the fruit has exploded. Yeah, brings out just a ton of tangerine, peaches, guava, pineapple. Whoa. Oh, it's so fruity, and there's also some more minerality coming through now, more rocks. Oh, that's nice. Where was this hiding? I mean, it was always a little bit fruity, but this is like real fruity now. Yeah, you can just smell the quality on the distillate here. Oh, that's good. Maybe that's what's happening. It's like the distillate is kind of punching its way through the oak. All right, let's give this a shot in the palate. Ooh. Less evolution on the palate than there was in the nose, but it is there. It kind of, the body fills out more, and that nutty note, the kind of pistachio, quasi-pistachio thing, that kind of steps forward a little bit more. And also like just the Pinot Blancness of this. It's actually, okay, now that I drink more of this is actually, and the citrus is coming out, like the lemon rind. As I drink more of this, it is actually quite a different experience drinking this with water. I wouldn't necessarily say it's you know, huge. No, actually, I do like this a little bit more with water, and I liked it a lot without it. This is awesome. This is I mean, it's not grape by any means, but it's delicious. It's high quality. It's very crushable. I'm gonna give this 85 points out of 100. You know, not a bargain by any means. I don't think any of the Fass series, or even really any of the Metté series, is a bargain per se. But I mean, you're getting a lot of quality there. You can see where the money is going. Oh, that's nice. One more time. Oh, it's just yummy. And this is also a perfect spirit to ever like start out a night. If you're ever having some friends over, doing like a whole flight of different stuff, stick something like this at the beginning of it. I mean, this is a perfect thing to kind of play that opener role. 85 points, very nice. All right, moving on to the sample X now with water. Let's see if the water cleared up that palate a little bit, but we'll go to the nose first. Okay, so the oak and has kind of stepped forward a little bit more now with water. There's a lot of like apricot syrup thing going on now, like, or even like the IHOP syrups. There's a kind of IHOP fruity syrup thing going on, and if IHOP made like an apricot syrup, I would be smelling that right now. But we're losing a lot of those more complex notes from before. It now just smells more. I mean, it smells like a big house 40% cognac. But I mean, a really nice one, but kind of still. It's kind of very just raisiny, apricot-y, caramelly forward. Not bad, nice, but all right. On the palate, here's where it comes out. No, it's still weird. I still don't really like the palate very much. It's still pretty mystifying. It's just kind of this fruity, grassy, orange pith with fennel thing, but not nice. One more time. This is a tricky one. I don't know what to do with this. I mean, for the stats, it is, I would say, still kind of a little bit of value, because you are kind of getting, you can tell this is kind of a cognac. It's an expat cognac. That's kind of poetic, actually. It's an expat cognac, but it's still kind of there. And you're not paying much money for it. But it's not delicious. And that's a problem. How do I grade that? Like, so this is like an 86 point nose meets like an 82-ish point palate, even like an 82 minus. So we'll try to like meet in the middle. We'll call it an 84. 84 out of 100. There's parts of this I really really like. Even parts of this I like more than the Metté, but man, that palate just kind of wrecks it for me. Kind of a shame. Okay. And the one to beat at this point, the obnoxiously American Copper and Kings Capitol Strength, now with some water on the nose. Okay, now it's just basically become a very, very fruity bourbon. Cherry pie, vanilla, barrel char, kind of graininess, the caramel dried fruit stuff from before. There are kind of distant suggestions of brandy. Like there's a little bit that kind of floral thing that brandy does, but it would not be at the forefront of my mind. And I have to think of that Belle Meade I just did. That, like, if I would have necessarily nailed that as a sherry finished, wine finished bourbon if you'd handed it to me. This one I really might actually, I mean, it's, again, finished in Willett rye, but I might actually pick this out as a high rye or even low rye, high rye bourbon or even low rye that had been finished in some kind of wine cask, brandy cask, rather than the other way around. And that's kind of what it smells like. Not bad, but there it is. On the palate. Okay, so the water gives and takes away. What it does is it kind of lengthens the finish. It now is pushing all the way back in my mouth, which I enjoy. The problem is it's also flattened out the experience a lot. All the flowers, those fun little notes, those are kind of gone. What I'm getting now is mostly just kind of like a... Hold on. Yeah, I'm mostly just getting a kind of peppery cherry coffee note, which is nice. But I kind of start trying to look for more than, peppery cherry coffee, and there ain't much there. Hard one. Again, another hard one to score. I would give this. Let's just give it the same score. I'm going to give this an 84 out of 100. Nice enough. I do not think this is worth 80 of your dollars. I would just buy a really nice barrel proof wine finished bourbon, or rye for that money. Did I just say that? That sounds heretical, but I guess I just said that. It's good. It's good. I mean, actually, both of these are okay, but for me, I think the humble little Fass, the humble little Pinot Blanc based thin from Alsace, it's kind of winning the day for me. And a lot of it just has to do with that. The nose is so fruity once you add some water. Oh, it's nice. And there we go. 85 points for the Fass, 84 for the Sample X, and 84 from the Capitol Strength. And that's the video. Thanks for watching, and cheers.